Hi everyone, thanks for joining me for another Cricut tutorial. Today I'm going to show you how to make these cute mitten shaker tags. These would make perfect Christmas ornaments or even just to dress up a package. I think they're really fun. I have provided you with a free SVG file to create these tags, and you'll find that in the video description below. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is create new project. We're going to click on Upload Images. Click on Upload Image. Click Browse. You're going to navigate to where you save the mitten.lan SVG file that I provided. It is in the description box under the video. Click on that and click Open. Here you can tag it. I'm going to tag mine mitten, glove, winter, Christmas, snowflake, LAN, that's my initials, and snow. You can tag it whatever you like and click Save. It will be the first item right here in the uploaded images library. Click on it until you get the green check. Click Insert Images. Perfect. The first thing we need to do is get rid of this SVG by Lorrie Nunemaker. So in order to do that, while it is selected, we're going to right click and hit Ungroup. Now click on that SVG by Lorrie Nunemaker and click the red X. Perfect. Okay, so let's select everything that we see on the mat. You can do this by drawing a box around it like this, or click Select All. Either way works. Double check over here in your Layers panel that everything is highlighted in blue. It is. We're in good shape. So let's click on the Edit panel. Let's highlight the height. Make sure this lock is in the lock position, just like this. It is. And let's change that height to 6.00. Perfect. Okay, while everything is still selected, I'm going to move this over here to the side of my mat. Now, click off of it. Now you need to decide what colors you want to use to cut your different items out. For me, where the red is, I used a pattern paper. Where the green is, I think I'm going to use white when I make the sample, but in my previous one I used craft paper. The white I'm going to cut out in white glitter cardstock, and the snowflakes I cut mine out in red glitter on my original one. I'm not sure which color I'm going to use when I cut this out, but I want all my snowflakes to be the same color. So in order to do that, I'm going to click on the black one. I'm going to go over here to the sync panel, and you see this black one. I'm just going to click on that black bar and move it down to the pink. And now you can see here all my snowflakes are pink on my work area. So that's perfect. Okay, now I want to click back over to the Layers panel, and I want to choose this outline of the mitten. And that is what this green part is. So on mine it is the second one from the bottom. It should be on yours as well. So once you have this item selected, we want to duplicate that 5 times. We're just going to go down here on the bottom of the Layers panel and click Duplicate 4 times so that we have a total of 5. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so let's move these over here. Just 4 of them. We'll leave the original one intact. Okay. Now I know if I hit go right now, Design Space is probably going to put 2 mittens on one, 2 mittens on another mat, and then this one. And I can show you what I'm talking about. Let's hit go. Yep. 2 on a mat, 2 on a mat. And I know I can get all 4 of these on one mat. So what I want to do is arrange these so that I know they'll fit on a mat. So in order to do that, and you could use the set canvas, I just like to do it this way. I'm going to click Insert Images and click Square. Now I'm going to go over to the Edit panel while that square is selected, and I'm going to change that square to 11.5. Remember, in Design Space, the biggest you can cut on a 12 by 12 mat is 11.5 by 11.5. So I'm going to grab that square and I'm going to move it up here, and I'm going to hit Arrange, Move to Back. Alright, now all I have to do is set these mittens up so that they fit within this printable area. You can actually turn this one around. You can arrange them any way you want, just so that they stay within the limits of that square. There, we're in good shape. Now click back on the square. Click the red X and delete it. Alright, now you want to select all 4 mittens. So let's draw a box around all 4 mittens. And it only grabbed 2. If that happens, hold the Command key if you're on a Mac or the Control key if you're on a PC and select the ones you're missing. That one and that one. Go over in your Layers panel and double check that you have 4 mittens selected. 1, 2, 3, 4. We do. So right click inside the box and click Attach. What that's going to do is keep these 4 on one mat. Okay, we need to do one other thing. We're going to click on the red mitten, and we want to look in the Layers panel and make sure that's what's selected. On mine, it's the very bottom layer, and we're going to duplicate that once. What we're going to do with this one is cut this out in acetate. So I'm going to change the color of this so that it will set it up on a separate mat that I can put acetate on. So I'm going to select it over here in the Layers panel, and since we just used it, or just made this layer, it's on the top now. I'm going to click on it, and I'm just going to change mine to gray, and that's going to remind me to cut this one in acetate. Okay, so let's hit go and see what we have. Perfect, we got the first 4 mittens on one sheet. We have the one that will be on the top of our shaker card on one sheet. I'm going to move it over here. We have the one that we will cut out in pattern paper. We have the one that we will cut out in acetate. We have our snowflakes, which you can cut out in any color you want. I use the new Cricut glitter paper, which I absolutely love. So whatever color you want to cut those out in, that's perfectly fine. And I like, when I'm cutting something intricate, I like to use an area of the mat that I don't use often because it's sticky and I don't have to worry about the paper coming up. So I'm going to move those down here because I don't use that lower left corner that often. And here is the top of our mitten, and this is, I cut mine out in white glitter paper. You can obviously cut that out in anything you want. And one other thing, when you cut this first mat of 4 mittens, you can cut these out in actually any color of cardstock. If you've got just some extra sheets of color that you never use, you're really not going to see these. They're going to be sandwiched in between your shaker card. So you're not going to see these 4. This one will be on the top of the card, so you want that one in a coordinating color, but these 4 you can cut in any color you want. So let's cut these out. Meet me in my craft room and I'll show you how to put this together. Okay, so we have all the pieces that we cut out from the Cricut. Those white mittens in the middle are just the negatives from the inside of the outline pieces. You want to make sure you have everything lined up the same way so that in this case, the thumb is headed to the left or facing the left, and that will just help make sure that you adhere everything in the correct direction. So here I'm just setting out all the pieces, making sure that the thumb piece is facing the left. You see the acetate piece there, that is the first piece we're going to use, and then you're going to take the outline piece that you want to be on the outside of your shaker. You want to take that one and adhere it to the acetate. Again, make sure you have both of the thumbs in the left direction, and then flip that top piece over. I like to use tape runner to adhere this first layer just because I don't want the glue to ooze out underneath and get on the acetate. So here I'm just applying some glue runner, and then I'm cleaning up the edges, making sure that the glue is not sticking on the outside. And then we're going to place this face down on the acetate. Again, making sure that those thumbs are facing the left. You just want to line it up so that your edges, it should match exactly. And you want to make sure that you did have tape runner all the way around it, because if you don't, your seed beads or sequins or whatever you fill your shaker with will show. And here I'm just cleaning up the edges, making sure that I don't have any adhesive showing. So now we have the acetate face down on the table with the cardstock attached to it. And then we're going to start, I'm using a liquid glue, and I'm just going to start stacking the pieces on top. Again, the cardstock is facing the table, and then you have your acetate sheet, and then you're putting these other 4 layers on top. And I find liquid glue is the easiest way to do this. Some people like to use foam tape instead of doing it this way with the stacked cardstock, but I think this works so much better and looks so much cleaner and neater. So we're just going to keep stacking those layers until we have all 5 of them. Okay, so I fast forwarded into the very last layer that I'm stacking here. This is my final layer. And you want to make sure that this is totally adhered down. All the way around the edge is totally sealed. Again, your seed beads will fall out if it isn't. So you want to press down. Now I'm taking those negatives, and I'm just taking 3 of them, and I'm just cutting off that top section. And it doesn't really matter, just kind of cut it down a little bit. And then I'm just stapling them together. You can glue them together. It doesn't matter. I just want to put a little bit of filler in the top so that my shaker pieces don't go up in the top area of the mitten. And this will totally be covered. And now I'm going to do the other 3 the same way. I'm just cutting it off up there on the cuff just a little bit. I stapled those as well, and I'm gluing that down. Okay, now we're ready to add our filler. So I'm going to add a mixture of sequins and seed beads, and I had a little bit of Merry Christmas ephemera. These are some seed beads. The first was some miniature sequins. I got those at Michael's. Those are some more seed beads, also from Michael's. And you can see I added some Merry Christmas tabletop confetti and some star confetti. And now I'm just gluing all along the white cardstock, including the filler piece that we stapled in at the top. And then you're going to put your pattern paper face down on top. And again, you want to make sure that you have complete sealed edges. So you might want to let that set for a little bit. You're going to turn it over. Don't worry about that glue showing. That's where we glued that piece in. We're getting ready to cover that up with our sequin, or not sequin, but glittered topper there. Now we're going to adhere our snowflakes. I use this liquid glue for the sake of the video, but I recommend using a glue gun when you're gluing on top of glitter cardstock. And here you can see the one that I originally did. I added a ribbon and a believe and a bow on it. And I'm going to finish this one off and show you the final pictures. So you can see here I finished this one off with a bow and a piece of flare, and I added a little pearl on the middle of the snowflake. These are super simple. Don't forget to pick up your free SVG. It's in the video description. I put it in my Dropbox so you can create one of these for yourself. See you later. Bye.